Can you see me, Astrid?
I can see. It was you super dark. Are you sitting at the pool?
Are you at the bar?
But I can put a light on, don't worry.
Yeah, please, because we see.
That's very dark.
Hey guys, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Raquel, we can hear you well. Say something. Test.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Stefan?
Yeah, can you hear me as well?
Yes. Mario?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, perfect.
Hans-Jörg? Okay.
Yes. Can you see me now?
Yeah, I see your white shirt.
The white shirt, yeah.
You want me to move a bit more to the light?
I think I would be good. We'd love to see your face.
No problem.
It's good we started 1 minute earlier. That's good. That's good. But he wanted us to show the beautiful Legian pool, I think.
Yeah, he's taking us to the bar. He's been talking about the bar, and he's taking us to the bar.
You look very relaxed.
Oh yeah, sure, guys.
Oh,
I'm ready.
okay. We have all the loopers flying in at the moment. Mario,
Yeah,
where's your drink?
He was the first one.
I was the first
I
one.
didn't see it. Okay.
I started with it.
Right.
Good. So our loopers are just flying in at the moment, the registration. So this is our 5 o'clock session. And
But I have behind me a full bar.
I can see that, yeah, absolutely.
You're lucky.
So cheers everybody to our industry and to all of us. Much love out there in the world. So we are just having more loopers coming in. It's just they're just dialing in. So I'll drink now. Charlotte, warum sehe ich hier keine Notes?
So,
Wo sind die Notes?
how is it in Bali?
Dark.
Very dark, huh? But nice and warm. I see you have the swimming pool there. The sharks are waiting. Wonderful.
Absolutely. I make sure the girls stay inside. Nobody can see them. It's all good.
Okay.
Okay, guys, we have our wonderful loopers flying in. Lots of familiar faces here. Hello, Gabriel and Gerhard. Hello to Berlin, Jens. Eva, hi from Munich. It's really great to have you. From Arabella Reisen, from Big Apple. Lynn, hey, welcome. That's really cool. It's just really, I'm very excited every Tuesday, to be honest. This is my hi Michael, Bucharest, here we go. Liebe Grüße aus der Schweiz and from Konstanz. So it's fantastic. Hey Lupus, this is like, please don't forget to, if you chat and you greet the people, please don't only do the panel speakers, but go on alle Diskussionsteilnehmer und Zuschauer. So all the people discussing plus the people watching. This is really, there's a button below. Michael, hi. Can you just can you change the button? Yeah, here we go, from Bergamo, she got it. From Schwabach, Diskussionsteilnehmer and the people watching. You have to, because we get so many contacts, and Loop is about community feeling. We are about just, going through this terrible stuff together. And so here we go. So everybody sees you. We want to have a good hour session together now, a good feeling. And, we want to help each other. So it's just going to, hello from London, from Aspen. Hey, Rob, that's amazing. Fantastic. Hannah, Sabrina, looking forward to Loop in November. We too. Okay, super. Amazing to see you all. Cuban creases from Lugano. Okay, Cape Town. Hey, Kirsten from Cape Town, you're back. That's so cool. Ruth, I haven't spoken to you in a long time. Indonesia, you guys are amazing. So I think we'll start and just keep the comments coming. Please ask your questions. Please kindly click the button for the panel speakers and the people watching, so everybody can see, like you're greeting us from Slovakia now, because only we can see this. So please think of that. So we'll start. This is so exciting. Loop is exciting because it's a great community feeling. It's doing business, but it's making a lot of friends as well. together, and I'm so honored to have this great speakers here today. A really wonderful crowd of professionals, lovely people, friends, I can really say, over the last year. And this is lovely to have a talk, an hour talk with a glass of wine with friends. So we want to navigate through Corona together. We have started this 5 weeks ago. This is our number 5. And if I look back after these 5 weeks, my God, it has changed amazingly to good, to getting better. And now, because we have such a vibrant panel speakers here, which I have also a sense of humor, I'd love to introduce you briefly, and then you please kindly tell us something about who you are, why you are here, and what you want to tell us. Raquel, I'm going to start with the lady first. From Italy. Welcome, Raquel.
Quintessentially Italian, I have to say, like the best wine. Even though you might say something else, but I'm saying it's my turn. So I'm saying Italian, like the best wine. And I was brought up abroad. I lived about 10 years in Spain, and I ended up in the hotel business kind of by chance, because I come from an economics background. I liked it, and I decided to stay. I worked as both as a GM, as director of sales and marketing for some of the nicest properties, both in Italy and in Spain. And in 2015, I decided that I wanted to fly solo. So I founded Unique Retreats, which is small sales and marketing consultancy company for independent luxury boutique hotels, small hotels. And that's what I do now. I work on behalf of my clients on sales and marketing strategies, on revenue, on sales and presentation. I travel for them, not now, but I usually travel for them. And so this is what I do with Unique Retreats.
Great. Yeah, you're an amazing experienced lady. You also do revenue management. So you are very specialized on small boutique hotels and a very Italian temperament. And you at the moment, where exactly? Where are you based?
I live close by to Verona on Lake Garda, right on the bank of the lake.
Great, super. So happy to have you, and thanks for sharing your expertise, your spirit with us. We're going to move up. Hans-Jörg in the dark.
Thank you. Those who don't recognize me, I'm Hans. So first of all, thank you so much, Astrid, for having me at this great talk. And I'd also like to thank Raquel, Stefan, and Mario for the great warm-up talk yesterday. It was very entertaining and very, very good. Thank you so much. So my name is Hans-Jörg Meyer. I'm originally from Zurich, beautiful Zurich in Switzerland. People call me Hans because I came from Zurich, which is okay.
Hans, just a moment. We are losing you a little bit. Can you move closer to the micro? Maybe that helps. I don't know, because like Bali is a long way far away. Try again. Continue, please.
Okay. So I've been in Asia for about over 20 years. I worked with the Peninsula Hotels in Hong Kong, Raffles in Singapore, Cambodia. And then I joined GHM Amman Resort for about 15 years. It was at the Datai, I was here at the Legion the first time many years ago, Seta Miami, and last hotel with GHM was the Jeddah in Andermatt in Switzerland, which I opened. And then I worked about 3 years for Como Hotels. And about 3 years ago, I got an opportunity, a bit like Raquel, to become partner in a small company. And so I decided to join Johan and Val Paulet's partner. Quite exciting. We're a small company. At the moment, we have hotels in Bali, a third one I'll tell you later about it in Lombok, and more to come, but very excited and I'm very happy to be here tonight.
Thank you, Hans-Jörg. Wonderful. So from Bali, from the Legion in Bali, and we're very happy to have you here. We're moving down in the screen to Stefan. Hello, Stefan. Welcome from Hanover today. Stefan Bönke, Director of Airtours.
Yeah.
Welcome. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no, thank you for the invitation. That's why I'm here, because you asked why you are here. Yep, because of your invitation. So it's very good what you created, not only look faces as well in the past and maybe as well in the future. I'm very curious to see what is in your brain for the future, but maybe another talk. So I'm responsible for airtours. I'm very honored to lead this brand, and this already since 5 years. And I started 26 years in the TUI group.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you for a second. Hans-Jörg, can you mute your mic, because I think it's making some noises. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, try again. Huh?
Yeah, no, that's, you can, yeah. Again, yeah. You're very proud, yes. Mm-hmm.
And since 26 years, I'm in the TUI group. So I know only one company, which is the TUI group. And after education, I was a tour guide on the Maldives, which was a nice experience. Since then, I'm diving as well. And as I said, the last 5 years, I'm responsible for airtours. Before 15 years, I was responsible for the long-haul business of all the brands of TUI in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And yeah, we'll see what's going on. And thank you for this nice community.
It's a pleasure to have you. You have been on board with us, with Loop since the beginning, and also always believed in our concept. And Loop and airtours were our perfect match, and that's lovely. So we are happy to hear more about what is going to happen in the future. What is your feeling, your trends, your numbers, of course, as well. Mario, hello, greetings to Prague. Mario Eger is our general manager from the Augustin, a luxury collection hotel in Prague. Welcome.
Thank you very much, and really thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with you and with that distinguished fellowship here. Yeah, my name is Mario, good Italian name, but actually I was born and raised in Austria in a small little town called Kitzbühel, well known and a beautiful place. And then after this one, I did my study in Miami. I stayed there for a few years, and after this I started to work on a cruise line. It's called the Royal Caribbean International Cruise Line, working my way up there. Was very interesting, beautiful experience. But then afterwards, I had the pleasure to work in Thailand, in Bangkok, open a couple of restaurants there. And yeah, moved to Australia, New Zealand, and then back to the States because I really liked it so much. Then I met my future wife in Miami, and we actually came to Prague. And in Prague, I opened one of the beautiful restaurants, which still is very, very, very nice. And then I started to work for Starwood Corporation 10 years ago to open the first Sheraton hotel in Bratislava. Wonderful property, moved to Prague in the Sheraton here. And then they asked me if I can open hotels for them, the luxury hotels in Russia, which was a great experience, but unfortunately then the Ukraine crisis came up. And believe it or not, and I will mention it also, definitely later, it was a negative area because of course with the war coming up, but it gave me the great opportunity to come actually to the Augustin Hotel 4.5 years ago. And when I was general manager in the Sheraton in Prague here, I was always looking at the Augustin and say, wow, one time, when I can leave that place, I really have made it. And that was actually 4.5 years ago. So I'm super proud to work now and lead this hotel, which is an active monastery from the 12th century. But I will tell a little bit about this later on. So that's my CV in a nutshell.
Fantastic, excellent. Yeah, Raquel, let's move on to beautiful Italy. We always have always very let's say challenges for our panel speakers that are going through challenges. We all are, but you have 2 clients, if I'm not mistaken, that are opening a hotel in Italy next month. So there's one amazing one with 11 rooms, and the other one you need to tell us about a little bit. But I would like to know also, how do you see the different approach in terms of sales and marketing compared to opening, if you would have opened before Corona, or if Corona wouldn't have existed? So what's your strategy? You're in Italy, etc. And I know you have a lot of positive vibes, but let's share them with us. I can't hear you.
I muted me. So
yeah,
I forgot.
perfect.
So, yeah, I do have a lot of positive vibes, but I guess like many of my colleagues, both hoteliers and travel agents, I've been through a roller coaster ride. So some days I'm really like, I'm gonna kill the world, and some other days, oh gosh, the world is gonna kill me. So it's because it's been kind of devastating. It's been something that nobody expected. And actually, you were right. I work amongst my collection. There are 2 properties. One just opened right before coronavirus, which is Castel Hurtenberg. Beautiful property in Bolzano, near the border with Austria, like a Renaissance castle in the center of the town. And the other one is Paragon 700, which again, it's another stunning luxury hotel, only 11 rooms and suites. It's right in the center of Ostuni in Puglia. And this is the one that's giving me more challenge because it was scheduled to open on March 27, right? And for both this one and the one in Bolzano, I had put together, you know, what it's like when it's opening, like a comprehensive sales and marketing plan, lots of activities. You want the market to get to know you. You want to be featured everywhere. Like you want to do your best, right? And then COVID happens. And so, you know, it's like you're setting up your stage, or like you're setting up your dinner, and then out of the blue, you want to do fondue, you want to do fondue bourguignon, you have no meat. And now what the heck? And so this is what happens to me. It's like I needed to readjust everything, not just like a few touches. It's like change completely the strategy. Because if you are an established hotel in times like this, you turn to your trusted partners, you turn to the guests that have already been there. But if you are brand new, who the heck do you turn to? That was, you know, the big thing. And so you are forced to change all the activities you plan, because amongst other things, you do not have the budget you thought you had when you put together your sales and marketing plan. And some of the events you wanted to attend and some of the activities you wanted to do, they were canceled. So it's like I had to review my strategy completely. And I had to kind of see what I wanted to do, you know, with my, with the smaller budget that I have, you know, especially for the property that it's opening in a month's time. Because this year, and it's not just for opening property, I think for all the properties, every euro you spend counts twice. It's not just like the normal thing, right? So I have been selecting which partners, who to partner with extra care, because I needed to make it count. I needed like, you know, every time I shoot, I needed to hit the bullseye. I couldn't miss. This year it was not possible. It wasn't a choice. And this is, for instance, one of the reasons why I chose to sign up for Loops Online. When you sent me, you know, when you said, oh, we're going to change Loop because we had to cancel it, we're going to do another kind of event, it's going to be an online. And I thought, that's it. That's one of the things that I could do, because, well, Germany is #1 market for Italy. Beside that, Germany is also one of the main markets for the property for both Castel Hurtenberg and Paragon 700. And through Loop, I am sure I'm gonna meet the right players. I'm gonna meet the key players in the market. And again, because it's like I cannot afford to miss. I need to shoot and get the target. So, you know, I am thrilled. I can't wait to open the property, which is going to open on June 8th. And even though I know it's going to be a pretty hard season because we've already lost almost 3 months. And I think the property is going to be a great add-on to the Italian luxury hotel scene, even though it's very small, as much as Castel Hurtenberg is. And you know, the thing is, I like challenges. I thrive into challenges. I really have fun, you know? They spice up my life. But now my life has gone from spicy to very hot. And I'm not sure I like the very hot flavor. You know, spicy is fine. It's the very hot that I am not so comfortable with. But
Great, thank you.
Get over.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure a lot of our loopers are going to be very interested in your small properties in Italy, and you're going to get requests for that, because this is very exciting. 11 rooms, 11, yeah, fantastic. Okay, thanks, Raquel. Steffen, we're going to move on to Hanover. Tell us, airtours, as the biggest luxury travel brand in the German-speaking markets and as part of TUI, how did you guys navigate through the last couple of weeks and months? And if I'm not mistaken, airtours is a brand that, luxury brand that exists 54 years? Yeah, you have to turn on your mic, please. Yeah.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, but 52 years.
52 years, exactly.
Already on the market, a little bit older than myself.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a brand. It's an absolute brand. We were talking about brands. So how did you guys navigate through the last couple of weeks and months, Steffen?
I would say it was very foggy and I lost a lot of hair, as you can see here. Not only gray is more here, and I lost some hair over the last couple of months, as we all had the big challenge, or still we are in between. But for me, it's quite important because we are all in one boat. It's equal if it's a hotelier, it's the travel agencies, as tour operators. We are all together, and as well the DMCs. And because in this special situation, we have seen what can happen. Because we started beginning of the year with very good results with the coming up summer season, and we are looking very positive in this coming summer. And then middle of March, the German government made a travel ban, not anymore traveling abroad. And this never happened before. So it was a new situation, all of us. And as a TUI group, we had to bring all the clients back from the destination. It took like 2 weeks. And only for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, we brought, as a TUI group, 70,000 clients back on own costs. So, and plus the other source markets in England, Nordics, or Benelux. And then, of course, we had to relook what's going on, how long does the situation is. And the normal, let's say, business model of TUI, let's say the volume mass market, is like beginning of the year, lots of booking will come in for the summer. And we make lots of prepayments to important partners of TUI. It's more, let's say, 4-star all-inclusive for the volume business. And we sent out these prepayments in January and February, like we have contracted. And then the shutdown was there. No money was anymore in. And that was really a big challenge. And we know with the prepayments, we get very good benefits from the big partners, speaking about 500 rooms hotels. And we get good conditions as well to support the travel agencies and to sell these properties in the agencies. But for the luxury segment, we are as well in this boat. And we had as well let's say, the effects coming up with airtours as well. And we are working on solutions with the partners, of course. And even when we facing still this challenging time, for me, it's quite important now, step by step, to change the mindset, to have the new openings, the restart in your mind. Since, I don't know, 7 days, 4 or 8 days, I'm constantly in meetings of a reopening, which is positive. Even it's a lot of work, I know. Even in the past, we had this cancellations and rebookings, but now we're starting again. We have to make some homework again, but it's, and finally I see a light on the end of the tunnel, and that's good. Actually, it's good. It's coming very slowly, but it's coming, and that's good.
Absolutely, yeah. And I talked to a couple of travel agencies today as well, and they are like, they say to me, we are looking at each other in the office because there are booking requests coming in, and they are really like, my gosh, this is so exciting, because personally, I didn't think it's going to happen so quickly here. So we have all this news about opening up. At the moment, we don't know about the flights getting there, but this is happening every day, and this is very, very positive. And the clients are ready to come, and I think this is a relief for all of us, definitely, that have gone through that. Thank you, Steffen. We're moving to Bali, back to Bali. Hans-Jörg, hello. So tell us please, what is the situation in beautiful Bali, especially at the Legian Seminyak, which is an oasis of itself. I have to say, I was with you guys last January, 1 year ago. It was it's just a paradise. You just walk into the hotel and you're just away from it all. It's like your home. And amazing culture and leadership you have there. So how was it for you? And additionally, you were opening a hotel you were planning on opening the Legian Sire in Lombok, which I also visited. Lombok, a beautiful island, amazing property. So tell us, how was it for you? Where's your team? Are you open? Are you closed? How is the situation?
Yeah, well, first of all, similar to Stefan, we had Bali, as you know, January, February, March is the low season. But we had a very good start in January with the New Year celebration and Chinese New Year. And then obviously the crisis started to hit. February, March, we thought we can manage because it's low season. But then obviously April hurt badly. So Seminyak, which is normally one of the busy places of Bali with the best restaurants, the best shops and some of the best hotels. It's very, very quiet at the moment. It's also very dark, as you can see. So we at the Legian decided to close the club, our small sister hotel with 14 villas, end of March. We kept the Legian open, which is a 67 suite property overlooking the ocean, beautiful property, and kept it open for the month of April. We had a few long-staying guests, mostly Europeans who didn't want to go back home. At that time, Europe, Italy, Spain, Germany, Switzerland was quite bad. So they hang out with us. But then when the local authorities decided to shut down the airport, we also decided to close the hotel because most of those guests then left. So we now plan to reopen again mid of June. We took the opportunity to do some major maintenance work, particularly in areas which nobody can do. We have 3 really iconic pools in the heart of the hotel, and it's hard ever to close them when you even have 30-40% occupancy. So we really take the opportunity to refurbish all these areas, the restaurants and so on. We retained all our 350 employees. They all stay with us. We look after them very well. That's important. And yeah, we think it's going to be a tough, kind of summer, which is normally a high season. But July, when slowly international flights hopefully start to come back, we see some movements. We see some inquiries for July, particularly for August as well. I should also say that the Legian has a very high percentage of returning guests. About 40% of our clients around the year are returning guests, which is a very high percentage. And particularly those returning guests, some of them come for years, they will come back. But we are prepared for tough next couple of months. And then hopefully by September, October, the end of the high season, hopefully also Australia, an important market, will start to fly into Bali again, and so we can see a rebound there. Then our new baby, the Legian Sire in Lombok, which is the neighboring island of Bali. It's about a 40-minute flight from Bali. They used to be, they are traditionally international flights out of Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, and also Perth. We had, in general, a very rough pre-opening or preparation there. We had, as you remember, the earthquake about 2 years ago in Lombok, which gave a delay. So now we're finally ready. The hotel is beautifully kind of ready to open, but we have decided, because of the situation, that it is not, or it's probably not the wisest thing to open at this stage, also because of flight connectivity. That's very important. So we decided to postpone the opening to the fourth quarter of this year. But it's going to be a beautiful property. It's 46 suites and the club with 15 villas. Lombok, I would describe a bit like Bali 30 years ago. Plenty of rice paddies, beautiful beaches. We are in the northeast where the ocean is flat. It's almost like a Maldivian experience. So a very nice combination with Seminyak, which is buzzy, has you know, kind of a surf, and then Lombok be more quiet. But yeah, so certainly a great destination. No issues with social distancing over there. There is not many hotels, and it's like the lake in Seminyak. We have all suites, big space. So social distancing is not an issue for our properties anywhere. So yeah, so that's where we are.
Great, tough one, huh? First the earthquake. I know I've been going this path with you. First the earthquakes with Lombok, and then COVID. When these hotels are open, I mean, this is going to be the absolute highlight. We're going to celebrate. Mario, hello. Welcome. Greetings to Prague. You have this beautiful Augustine monastery in Prague. We had the pleasure to celebrate at your property when we were there with Loop Prague for the Central Eastern European markets. And hello to all our wonderful Nora, Prague, Nateshta, everybody who is in here. You were doing an amazing party for us at your property in the gardens, and we also had the pleasure to have, how do you say, oil concert, orchestra in your beautiful monastery itself, which is only allowed very seldom and only 2-3 times a year. So we were super honored to be there. So Mario, how did you manage your organization, your team, and having to reduce the work force as well, you told us, etc. So how did you go through that? How are you?
Well, as you know, our hotel already, you know, it is an old monastery from the 12th century. And with 7 different buildings, a big private garden, a terrace. We're actually just building a new rose garden. You didn't see that last time, but we are building that, should be done in the next 2 weeks. So we really have a massive hotel in the center of Prague, right next to the Charles Bridge. So when you talk about reducing the staff, obviously it's always a very tough decision when you have to lay off somebody in the organization. And we were sitting together and we looked at our books, and as Hans-Jörg said, you know, we also started with a good month in January and then February, and then we could see already it's sliding down. Europe got hit very hard, and we say, well, you know, with our labor cost, we have to do something. I was sitting together with the management team, and we say, you know, considering what is coming in the future, with the layout of the property, what and how many we have to lay off. So it was very emotional because, of course, nobody wanted to lay off their people. But as I say in the very beginning, when I was in Russia and we had this Ukraine crisis, which was a crisis, and actually something great came out of it. And with this said is, yes, we have to lay off people. We made a decision that we not just consider the length of stay with us, but more important on this one is the attitude, the DNA of the people. And we looked into it and say, you know, you can do a lot of cross training, which we did before. We definitely have to intensify this one. But what is definitely more important, the one we keep, that they have the right attitude in place, that they have the hospitality in their blood, and that they go out and beyond to ensure really that when the guests are coming back, that they're getting actually a better service. Let's put it this way. I mean, a lot of hoteliers say yes. When the guests are coming back and I don't have enough staff or stuff like this, I would challenge that. I would say, we have the time now until we reopen again. We have the time now to train them, as I say, to keep the best one, to ensure that they're full with their hearts, same like the management into it. And the guest will actually have then a better service with even a better attitude from the staff. And when it moving then up again, we actually can choose our people much more diligent than we did it right before that, because we have to think about Prague was on the collapse of over tourism, and now we stepped back on this one. And yes, it takes a while until you reach it, but we will, by end of the years, we will have a great occupancy already on the books, so we can see it's moving up. and then we have the right people in place, and I see it as a positive note in the negative times.
Very good. Yeah, over tourism, that's going to be a very interesting one, no matter what we are talking, which destination, but especially Prague. I mean, I remember going over the bridge. What's the name of the bridge again in Prague?
The Charles Bridge. And the Charles Bridge is right like 100 meters away from us. Yeah. You had to go like a soldier over it, you know. And now, I mean, I go every day because I live in the center of Prague, and going every day over that bridge. Even myself, I'm standing there and looking around and say, wow, it's so beautiful, and enjoy it. And if you have the time now, and that is definitely also one of our message to all the agencies out there, is definitely enjoy it now as long as you can. It is that beauty.
Thank you. Wonderful. Great. Raquel, Italy has been particularly affected. It was all over the news. We felt for you guys big time. It was really sad, the pictures we saw, but we're looking into the future now. How do you feel when Italy can get out of this as a destination? How will it recover? And do you get any support from tourism boards, the politicians, or is that maybe not such a good question? But
out, right? You want the government to kick me out from my country?
No. But I mean, Italy is in the heart of many, so you guys are bonding a lot with. So how do you see that?
Well, the thing is, let's face it, Italy has been badly hit by COVID. You know, lots of people got infected, many died, especially at the beginning. The images that were going around on the media, they were picked up from Italian media, and they showcased doom and gloom. It was like, you know, it felt like we were never going to get out of it. It felt like it was like one step from doomsday, a disaster. So the situation was really, really, really critical. And now we're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, the way things are, we are starting to things are getting better. I have to say we suffered a lot from a tourism perspective, from a hotel's perspective, we suffered a lot. I'm not saying that other destinations didn't suffer, but for us, it's a big thing, because consider that tourism is 13% of our gross GDP. So it's like, it's a big, big thing. Imagine, we're all hoteliers, guys. So imagine we have a client that contributes for 13% of our total revenue. I mean, I, as a GM, I would roll the red carpet and carry the client to his room in my arms, because, you know, it's a very important client. And that what Italy is, I mean, what tourism is for Italy. And the government, I have to say, didn't support us. And at the beginning, I completely understand. I know, you know, there was a health crisis. So first things first, they needed to intervene on that. That was the major thing. But afterward, they should have. I mean, the fact that they went completely quiet, that didn't help. Because not having any kind of news on what was going on, it's like, it's worse than bad news. You know, just tell the world we are in dire straits and we're gonna come out and this is our plan, but not saying anything. People started thinking, what's happening with Italy? And I have to say that a bunch of hoteliers, I was amongst them, we had a WhatsApp group, right? And we kept on sharing from day one. We started sharing information, what's going on, how can we do better, how are we gonna do, you know, what are we going to do once the crisis is over? How are we going to address the market? And throughout the whole period, you know, the dark period of the lockdown, the news that were not coming from our government were coming from us towards agents, towards tour operator, towards our clients. So we were the channel. We were telling them the naked truth. This is what's going on. This is how things are. This is what's happening. And we think, you know, it's going to go. And you might have seen it on social media, that famous hashtag, hospitality friends, united. So we kind of like went everywhere. And I have to give my kudos to Agostino from Il San Pietro in Positano, because he was the one keeping us all together and coordinating all these actions. That said, now about 10 days ago, give and take, the government announced that on June 3rd, we were going to reopen our borders. And for clients or for people coming from the EU country, there was going to be no more quarantine. And that was a really good thing for the market. You know, it was taken like, wow, like a breath, like a breath of fresh air. And furthermore, beside that, the other important thing was that Italian properties started announcing that they were reopening. So Annalisa from Grand Hotel Miramare in Santa Margherita, she was saying, oh, we're reopening at the beginning of June. And then Valentina from Grand Hotel Tremezzo, and then Silvia from the Aman in Venice, also she's saying, oh, we're opening around mid-June. I think it's around the 18th. And then Agostino from Il San Pietro was saying, oh, we're opening at the beginning of July. So that was a big thing because the market finally realized we're back in business. So, you know, we couldn't give them any dates prior to this announcement of the border openings, but now that we're giving them some certainty and something, some facts, let's say, and then they trust us and they know that it's safe to come. It's safe to come to our country. You know, in times like this, it really, I would say, fills my heart seeing how much the market loves us, because I realized that Italy is on so many people's bucket list. And for those who have already come to visit my country, they are happily returning. So that's even better news. So it means we're doing something right? And I think even though it's going to be a hard season, because it's going to be a difficult season. First of all, because it's shorter, and second of all, because we don't, you know, we cannot engage as we did previously with the market. I guess that both my colleagues and myself, we both felt that we owe it to ourselves, because a hotel is meant to reopen. Hotels are not meant to be closed. Hotels are meant to welcome guests. And also we owed it to the guests and the partners that throughout these 3 months have been reaching out to us and have been asking, you know, when will you reopen again? Because we want to come back. Right. So I think, you know, as a destination, it will recover, and it will probably recover sooner than what everybody thought. Yeah.
But okay, be sure we will support as soon as the borders are open. Italy is our hearts, you know. Huh?
Fantastic, absolutely. Yes, Stefan, looking into the future, we see bookings coming in. So how is it with air tours? What's the trend? Which destinations? It's I mean, it changes daily, obviously, but what's here and now? What can you tell us, please?
Yeah, it's coming back slowly but surely. It's coming back, and I think what we have to take in our minds is it will be not traveling after COVID. It will be traveling with COVID. Means all the hygiene and new standards has to be there. And from my perspective, the customers, of course, they expect this, and we have to tell them this, but quite slowly. Because we would like to inspire again. And we have the best travel agents all around, and especially in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, who are the best one in this. And then to change the mindset, first, of course, with the agents, because as I said, we are still in the mood, cancellations, payments, what's going on tomorrow, difficult discussions with the clients. But now coming in the mood, again, wow, the world is there. The world will be open slowly but surely, and we are supporting this as well. From my point of view, we have the best partners. It's the hotels, the DMCs, the travel agents. We are all together, and from my experience and from my opinion, what the clients looking now for, because a little bit different than before COVID. It's more that they are looking for remote places and connectivity with the nature. Let's say again, it was in the past already, but I think it's now more motivation for traveling. Privacy is very important, and still the timeless moments, dreams. They would like to come dreams true, and all these motivations we already have in the luxury segment. We have less number of guests per unit. We have all privacy as you said as well, it's Hans-Jörg or Raquel said, or Mario, and all the different hotels, we have privacy. This is number one. We have an excellent trained staff. We have personal top service, as Mario mentioned as well. And what is very important now, we have huge space. Even the property are small, like what Raquel spoke about, her very nice villas and properties, but still it's a huge space for everybody. And we see already in the first request is more for villas, more for privacy places, but we have this already. And this has to come, I think, now more in the communication to the customers. And as well, what is important now is flexibility. I know that a lot of hotels, they offer already flexibility with cancellations or less fans for rebookings. But as a tour operator, now we changed our terms and conditions, at least until the end of June, to have the flexibility for the clients to rebook easily, not to cancel, because it's more, of course, shifting a little bit in the future, maybe hopefully in summer 20 already, at least the winter, and already for the next summer. We have a lot of requests because the majority of the clients would like to go on the place where they booked, but not this year, but next year. That's why we prepared everything. Already we have 2,000 hotels on sale for summer 21. And what is as well important for a lot of clients to experience the destination. We have airtours private travel as a handmade round trips, already bookable for 21, 22. For cruise ships, we are taking bookings already for 21, 22. We are prepared. And this is now very important to find the motivation of the clients. So, and the best people who know us is the travel agents. And that's why we are in communication. We give them more information, more possibilities, as I said, with the flexibility. And from my point of view, we try to come back to the communication which we had before, because the communication we lost a little bit in the last months, because everybody was looked for their own, because the challenges were so big that everybody has to focus on their own. But now we're coming back to communication, and that's why as well we bring in the next few weeks, Airtours and Friends, our well-known luxury travel experience platform, back. Before we had only a face-to-face seminars. In the next few weeks, we will start with the online, and then to connect the hotel partners with the best travel agents in the German-speaking markets, which is additionally what you are doing, Astrid. As you said, we are, and me personally, believe what you are doing. We are supporting the loop since the very beginning, and Airtours and Friends is additional to this side, and we bring up this platform now online. We had this in our mind since last year, but you know, always a good possibilities within the crisis, and we coming up with online, and to have new connectivities, new ideas for the next weeks, which will be slow, but it will come back, which is very good.
Absolutely, yeah. Cheers. That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I have also spoken to quite a lot of agents that said that the clients that said, okay, we'll postpone to 2021 are now coming back to them and saying, you know what, I don't want to wait so long. So I think we're going to see a shift here as well. They say, okay, we do want to go this year nevertheless, because it's happening earlier. We have quite a lot. I hear a lot of that. Yeah, and I agree with you, communication. I can speak for myself. It's like, you know, I've spoken to wonderful people I lost throughout because we're also busy and we're also all over the place. And I think it has a lot of advantages.
Yeah, and that's why the travel agents should contact now the best clients with ideas, with inspiring content, and not speaking about the difficulties which we are still facing, yes, but they would like to travel, we know it. And you asked as well which destinations. It will be, of course, the neighbors. After Germany, opened last week, the hotels. It will be Austria in the near future. It will be Switzerland, Czech Republic as well when the borders are open. And theoretically, from the 15th of June, the Germans are able to travel worldwide. But the challenge will be the flight situation. But as soon as the schedule airlines will be back in Germany, we will be happy to sell again. But we're waiting as well for the schedule plans from the big airlines, mainly with Lufthansa, which is our main partner, of course. But then for, let's say, Mediterranean will be more easier, because within the European Union, there are now discussions, which was mentioned today, the first possibilities in the middle of June. And let's say the demand will be increasing for long haul more end of the year, because it's traveling long haul at the moment. It's possible as soon as the flights are back, but we see the requests coming November, December, Christmas, New Year onwards, and especially for next year. We have a lot of demand for the Maldives already, even for Indonesia next summer. So we're looking quite positive in the future, but it will be a new reality, and we have to find our ways over there. But once again, we are all in one boat, and let's work together.
Definitely. Thank you, Steffen. Hans-Jörg, we are talking always in our sales and marketing jobs about pricing and about strategy, how to best tackle your sales price and marketing strategy. Can you turn on your mic, please, Hans-Jörg? Thank you. And we would like to know, the Legion is a brand. How are you going to do this? How are you going to go out with your prices, with your strategy? You have 40% repeat clients. I would love to hear from a professional like you, how you see the situation at the moment.
Well, for us, for our business model, our hotels are not very large. We have 67 suites, 46 suites, or our clubs such as 15 villas. So our strategy is very clear. We don't believe in dropping rates. It doesn't make sense for our business model. And we also we want to give our clients the true LHM experience. And as an example, when guests come to us, all the private bar in the rooms is complimentary. Organic fruit in the rooms is complimentary. When you go to the pool, every hour we offer you a fresh, new, exciting amenity. We serve complimentary famous Legion afternoon tea to all the guests. So all these are part of the experience getting pampered at our hotels. We start to slash our rates, then automatically start to kind of like cut your experience, and that's very dangerous and it's very short-sighted. So, we believe we see this as a mid-long-term strategy. So I think added value is definitely something we want to offer, and added value, different added values for different travelers. A family with 2 or 3 children may look for something else than a honeymoon and so on. So I think that's really what our strategy is. We want to be very flexible. Steffen mentioned it about cancellation policies. We understand that. I think all of us do that. But to kind of like slash rates and try to get guests in is not what we believe in. However, I would say that particularly here with so many hotels and with the difficult situation, I do believe that some hotels and some brands will go that way, particularly in initial months, because it's going to be a strong focus on the domestic market. The first market is going to rebound, the regional market. So I do think there will be a bit of a price war, but for us at LHM, our strategy is very clear. We want to maintain our standards. We want to keep going with our experiences, and therefore do not believe in slashing rates, but more like some added values, some bonus nights, and some exciting additional programs. But we do not have any plans to kind of like start to kind of like drop our pants, as one says, and try to get people in. That's not our strategy.
That's very good. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree as well. Sorry, I agree as well. Maybe the first weeks of a reopening could be maybe different, but in the mid run and long run, it makes no sense really to lower the rates. It's cutting the service, it's cutting somewhere. And just to mention, whatever our hotel partners are doing, we just deliver it one-to-one to the market.
And additional value, what you pay for, that's, cutting is always the easiest way, obviously, but give them additional value to it, give them the experience, and I think this one will make it. When we went back 2008, 2009, a lot of us made the mistake that we dropped the price. We thought, okay, let's bring occupancy in, wonderful. But then afterwards, to bring the prices back up, it really hurts. It took a long time. And I know particular one hotel, they stayed with the prices all the time, where we said at that time, there must be a little bit, whatsoever. But on the end, they were right. And when I speak with our head office and with the owner, I tell them always exactly the same thing. We stick with the rates. We give additional things on it, We make them happy. We ensure that they have a great stay and a safe stay with us. And this will pay off on the long run.
You have a lot of American clients, Mario. How do you see the market? How do you see you are also a spokesperson for all the Prague luxury hotels. How are you guys going to move on? I mean, I think 50-60% Americans to Prague, yeah?
Well, we always had, the Americans seems to love Prague. I mean, it is a fairy tale. Okay, you don't, when you go in Orlando, the Disney World, and you look at all these beautiful things, you come to Prague and you have the same thing. It's just amazing. And even we have Rachele there from Italy. We have also a lot of Italians coming to Prague, and that also states something, because obviously their country is also extremely beautiful. Yes, we have in our comp set here, we have 50-60% Americans. And of course, when is America going to open? When are the flights are going to come back? That's a question mark. Some they would say, well, it will take quite a long time. I'm a strong believer, and I studied and lived in the States for so many years. They have in their DNA, they have this entrepreneurship. It's a no, it doesn't exist for them, They keep going and going. And I give you an example. Just when you open a business and you go bankrupt here in my country, in Austria, you would say, well, I told you so before, you should not do it, and all of this. In America, say, wow, great, okay, you learned something, so in the second business, it will be better. And the same thing is, I believe strongly that as soon as the planes are flying again, the Americans will be one of the first ones. And I think you saw it already in the news, some in the more negative one, that the planes are completely full there. They don't separate the middle row, they don't leave it empty. Some of them don't have the mask on it, but the planes are full. And I'm a strong believer that they will come back to Prague quite soon. But also we cannot forget the Europeans, because don't forget, in Europe we have over 740 million people. And especially now when the long destinations, like Stefan say, are not available now, this is a great chance for us to connect with them, to connect with the great luxury agency. And especially now, when after all these years we have this great communication, it pays off now. We can see that we get the leads into our hotel. And for the Germans, it's wonderful, because you just can pass over the border. You don't even have to fly. For Munich, it's 3 hours, Frankfurt, 4.5, Berlin. So we see also quite a demand from that market as well.
Yeah, very good. And it's interesting, because now everybody is first starting domestic, and we can see this here in Germany. I hear that a lot of the hotels are already fully booked in Germany for the summer. And the second thing is that they have increased their rate partially by 70%. Is that true, Stefan? I hear these rumors going on. I mean, you're selling, but now we have to move out of Germany, and we want to. So that's really good news, because Germany is full. The domestic market Dann Oberhaut Sylt. Sylt, I don't know, for those who don't know it, it's the Hamptons of New York in Germany. Full, no more chance. So we need to,
every summer holiday, the German hotels are full.
Yeah.
Now it's very early that they are full.
True.
And
Okay.
yes, I heard as well that they increased the rates, maybe for certain periods or certain room times, like family rooms. I heard as well. But let's say the average stayed with the same rate. Huh?
Okay.
Because the hotels they have to manage this as well. And as I said in the beginning of the year, we had a good pre-sale already. So some hotels, they can open now only with 50 or 60% occupancy by law. This was already done in January or February. They could not sell anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Great. Yeah, so we have a lot of things to look forward to now. I mean, if I look at the first couple of weeks, I mean, yeah, I know Bali, Antioch, it's gonna take a little bit more time, but you have a fantastic, amazing product there, which is just exactly what the clients need, and we are all gonna support you, and we're gonna support everybody as much as we can, with all our force and our power. I would like to, because it's 6 p.m., where 1 hour is just flying, it's just amazing. We wanted to discuss so many questions and we had so much, but it's just going on. But it was super, super exciting and really passed quickly. We want to thank all our community here for listening to us, and thank you as always for your trust, your honesty. I think transparency, we have to be super honest with each other and really tell our feelings, and this is why we love this industry. Just for your information, we will be doing loop faces now every 2 weeks on the Tuesday, because I have to say it's quite intense for me to do this every week, and my company and my team needs me as well, and my clients, but we want to keep the quality like today, you know, just no rush, but do it well and with wonderful people like you. So we're going to do it every second week, so you're going to hear from us on the next one coming up. And I would like to thank you, my dear colleagues here in the panel, for a wonderful discussion, sharing your feelings, your way forward. Yeah, and let's do business, let's do what we love, and we'll stay in touch, all of us. Take good care. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love
Thank
you. Cheers, and until the next time. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Ciao.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Raquel. Stefan.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
At your bar, Hans. Next time at your bar.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go to Prague.
That's a great idea. And you see the bar is open.
My car. If I go to my car, it will be in 6 hours. I will be in your hotel.
That's true. What are we doing here? Let's go.
Let's go back, guys.
Yeah, as I say, I will open for you guys. You know, when you come, I will open it for you, and I say, here's Blondie right behind me. So we're going to have a couple of drinks there, and I'm going to invite the monks. So we really have some fun.
That's
Just said you have nice beer.
Exactly.
The next loop will be live. It will be live in Prague.
All right. Okay.
Sure.
Good. And listen, let's stay in contact, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
It was great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.